Hey, good afternoon, boys and girls. It's Dave. It's Friday, and it's time to do this again. However, this week we're going to do something a little different. A friend of mine last week challenged me to do a video where I didn't talk about morons or fuckwits or idiots or politics. And I'm like, well, Jesus, what am I going to talk about for 10 minutes? Boobs? I mean, sure, I'd love to talk about boobs for 10 minutes. They're two of my favorite things. But we can't really do that because I think some of you, a lot of my friends are women. They might not find that all that interesting. So, you know what? So today, here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about the politics of women. And you could show this video to your son, your grandson, or whatever, somebody who needs a little advice on, what might be coming at him later. Although it's a whole different world now. You can't talk to women the way we used to back in the day. I mean, you can't flirt. You can't, try to, basically, ultimate goal, try to get in somebody's pants. You can't do that nowadays because you'll go to jail. I mean, it's just, people are triggered, offended, call a cop. So, and I don't condone, don't get me wrong, I don't condone anything without anybody's consent or anything. I never have. And, I've turned down some things because everybody was a little drunker than they should have been. And you don't want anybody to have any regrets the next morning for that matter. So, anyway, we're going to talk about the politics of women. Um, I've loved women, as I've said before, my whole life, and the one I currently have, I absolutely adore, and I'm keeping her till I'm dead because, quite frankly, I finally found the one I've needed my whole life, and I ain't going anywhere. Neither is she. So we're going to stay. In fact, I teased her years ago and told her, you know what, you ever decide you don't want me anymore, just get one of them guns and shoot me right in the back of the head because I got no interest in starting over whatsoever. So as I said, we're going to talk about women. So let's start way back. When you're in junior high and you first get that itch, that interest that you want to talk to girls or whatever, you go through that whole phase where you might be sitting at the assembly at school and you might reach over and take her hand. That's kind of a big deal that first time, or pulling the stretch, put your arm around her at the movies, and then back in the day we had to drive in, which meant you got to drive a portable hotel room basically to a place where you could or could not watch a movie. You kind of had a choice back in those days. And yes, I've been caught many times actually. Some of you know that. But I don't know. Nowadays, not really any drive-in movies. Everything's online and through the phone and all that. There's just not enough human contact as much as there should be. I mean, everybody needs a good hug and a kiss once in a while. So let's just talk about some of the pitfalls. Okay, for some of you younger guys, I'd like to tell you something about what you should and shouldn't start. Now, you want to start with a nice beginner girl. Get yourself a blonde or a brunette or something to start off with, something a little more simple. Don't go fucking around with a redhead when you're, 14, 15 years old. You're not equipped to handle that because some of you, and God bless you if you get this reference, but redheads and Latinas go up to 11. Yeah, you piss one of them off, they go to 11, and they go there right now. You might get stabbed, you might get shot, you might get ran over by a car while you're sitting in your lazy boy chair in your living room. You just never know. Don't piss them off. So you want to wait till you get a little more experience before you start messing around with one of them because, redheads and Latinas, very passionate, which means some of their skill level is, a little higher than some, but there's a price to pay for that. You got to kind of be careful and you got to know what you're doing. It's like working for the bomb squad. You don't want to go in there as a rookie and try to, uh, shut off a nuke or something. You get fucked up. You got to be careful. So anyway, just stay away from the redheads while you're younger till you get a little more experience. They can be a little nuts. So no offense, Kat. We love you. But yeah, redheads can be a little nuts. So anyway, so that's something to start with, and then some women kind of have a slow boil. They'll go from 0 to 10. It takes them a while. Then the other ones, the first time you screw up, they're like, "Hey, no, not putting up with that shit." They let you know right away. So there's that. And in relationships, you kind of learn with experience that there's two halves of a relationship. That well, I don't know. I always look for what my grandparents had. Some of you got lucky; you found the right woman right off the bat. Me, not so much. It took me a while, 47 years to be exact, to find the right one. And don't get me wrong, there's some girls out there that I have loved since I was a kid, basically, because they own a piece of me that they permanently own, and they always will because they helped make me who I am today. If it weren't for all of them, I would have no idea what I have now. So they still mean a lot to me as a person. So, let's see, and women tend to be a little unstable because, I've been joking around for years that estrogen causes brain damage, and I still kind of think it does because, yeah, you guys are a little unstable sometimes. Not that we don't have our issues too. We're a little unstable too sometimes, but it usually takes a little more to set us off. Um, when you're younger, you look for a girl that has skills. Well, when you're older, you look for a girl that has qualities. I mean, don't get me wrong, skills are important too, but qualities are much better. Someone that you can count on every day, someone that you don't wind up in the beginning. As I said, there's two stages. In the beginning of the relationship, oh, you're in love and you breathe the same air, and oh, you just can't be without each other. And everybody hates that couple that just started going out. You're sitting at the bar, you're trying to have a couple of beers, and all of a sudden you get hit with a bra from the side or something. Hey, calm down. Put that shit away. Put it back in your pants. Wait till you get home. Christ's sake, we're trying to eat chicken strips here. So, yeah, nobody wants to be around that couple when they first start. And then next thing you know, 6 months later, you might wind up sitting down the block in your car after work trying to decide whether you want to come home or not because you don't know which psychotic bitch lives there today. The one that loves you or the one that wants to kill you. And I've had both of those. Trust me, I have. There have been relationships that were very sad that I crawled away from with a broken heart. And then there was other ones I ran away from just as fast as I could go and never looked back. So, you can get both of those, but you younger guys got to kind of learn on your own. As far as Latinas go, don't even walk by their house with an erection because you'll have a baby. Got to be careful about that. In all cases, wrap it up, or whatever. I don't know. I can't really say that I have too many regrets. I mean, my second marriage was a goddamn disaster, but it wasn't all bad. I mean, I wound up with two daughters that I loved dearly and would do anything for, and they know that. And although we vehemently disagree on politics, we're completely on opposite ends of the scale of that. They also know where to go if the shit hits the fan because this guy will protect them from anyone and anything, including the people that they think are great. I don't really care. I mean, I will protect them, and I love my grandchildren dearly, and they came out of that second marriage too. So I really don't have any regrets there. And as I said, there are some that I'll love my whole life. It's just the way it is. But I absolutely adore my wife, Kat, and she's good to me, and I'm good to her. And like I said, I wouldn't know what I have if it hadn't been for some of you and the other women that, treated me good. Some treated like crap, like I said, broken hearts or good days or whatever. I mean, you got to go through both. And even if you have the perfect marriage, you're still going to have bad days. But anyway, I don't know. I just find women beautiful. I've just always loved women, and that the best one that you can find is either going to make you or some of them can break you. And like I said, I've had both. So anyway, we don't have, as guys, we don't have some of the advantages that women have. Like we can't stop a fight with our boobs. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. When he's all mad and whoop, boobs. Wait, what was I talking about? Yeah, stops the fight right there every time. We can't really do that. We can't really drop our pants. She's just going to go, yeah, nice try, and keep screaming at us. It ain't going to work. So, there's that. So, but anyway, treat them nice. Don't slap them around. Just be good to women. And, guys in the beginning, just kind of start out slow. Do what you got to do. Don't be one of these, what do they call it? They got a name for it now, that incels. There's a term for you, involuntary celibates. 40 years ago, we called that guys that couldn't get laid. But, and that's fine. I mean, some guys are a little slower starters, and some guys get kind of basically thrust into the mix. So, you just work at your own pace. It's great. I'm always so happy. Like my friend Big Dave was married for 47 years. My grandparents were married for over 50 years, and I applaud that because not everybody gets to do that. I'm pretty sure me and Kat could do 50 years, but we'd have to live to be 97 years old. So I don't think that's going to happen. We're coming up on 10 years, which that's a personal best for me. I'm pretty happy about that. We're rocking that shit. So, anyway, I just want to talk a little bit about women, and maybe if some of my advice helps some of you younger guys. I mean, I've had guys try to give me marital advice that have been divorced 5 times. Yeah, sure, Skippy, your advice is really worth it. So anyway, my advice, I mean, this is my 3rd time too, but it took me 3 times to get it right. And so I believe now I have it right, and I'm going to ride this thing out till the end. That's just the way it is. I finally found the perfect one, and I'm keeping her. So anyway, if anybody needs to know anything else, just let me know. I probably have an answer because, as we all know, I have an opinion on most things. I mean, I don't tend to have an opinion on things I don't know anything about, but with women, I have a little experience. I kind of got my finger on the ball there. I think I could probably say a few things. So anyway, I'm out. You guys have a good weekend. Have fun. Stay cool. And I'll talk to you next Friday.